about, what was it? It's like 2 hours before everyone else got paid without any report on
Whoa! You're about to get paid within 2 hours, and they demonetized
Yeah,
you?
it was on that Friday. Yeah,
and this is Elon, X's. So there's no explanation, nothing.
None. No transparency whatsoever.
The transparency free speech app.
Yeah,
and they just shut you down
completely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, got Dom and Gary here today. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to Vegas. It was a fun night last night.
Oh yeah, you know how to throw a party, brother.
Not bad, right?
Yeah,
and no drinking over here.
Nope.
Rum.
You guys all sober too?
Yeah.
Let's go. That's a rare thing in Vegas.
Yeah. Try to make sure I had a clear mind.
How long?
What's this? Our sixth time, brother?
Yeah, sixth time and our first time, man. I'm excited to get to know you.
Most ran through guests when we're popping his cherry.
Yeah, man. I mean, you get a lot of views. I mean, you guys both get a lot of views, but now you just got demonetized, right?
Yeah, I got demonetized about, what was it, February this year.
So a few months ago. And what was the reasoning?
No reasoning as of yet. Nah, they don't really send any reasoning. Normally you get an email, but I didn't get an email or anything on my part. I got demonetized about, what was it? It's like 2 hours before everyone else got paid without any report on
Whoa! You're about to get paid within 2 hours, and they demonetized
you? Yeah, it
you?
was on that Friday. Yeah,
and this is Elon, X's. So there's no explanation, nothing.
None. No transparency whatsoever.
The transparency free speech app.
Yeah,
and they just shut you down
completely. Yeah.
Okay,
that's nothing new for you.
Well, I mean, no. Me and Elon have had some problems with one of my 23rd, 24th account or something like that. But listen, I never reached his level of success on Twitter. Most I had was 6 figures. He's in $1 million. So for Elon to treat one of his top creators, quite frankly, in this fashion, says a lot about him and his company.
It was crazy. Yeah, I was actually listed as the number 3 most influential profile on there.
Damn.
Yeah, only Tate was in front of it and Elon Musk's profile at that time. I'm probably not even on the list now because I just don't even be as active on it with it. And it was completely for no reason. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, if people see it for what it is, if Mr. Beast, and no one is expecting favor, but if Mr. Beast was just treated unfairly without any transparency, people would worry and fear about the future of YouTube. So it makes me fear about the same for X. It's like if you don't give transparency on someone that reaches the top on your platform, what is the motivation for someone else to try to mimic that success? And that kind of like takes away the motivation from a creator to want to create, because the top creators, quite frankly, are some of the greatest motivation to create in the first place.
100%. Yeah, I think they just got Jake Shields too. Dan Bilzerian's probably demonetized by now with his tyrant he's going on. So they're definitely going after people.
He wasn't talking like Dan. He wasn't talking like Jake. Just being completely transparent. Yeah. He wasn't talking about the same type of stuff. So the fact that he was demonetized, that's really, really scary, because he wasn't talking about the stuff that gets usual people demonetized.
And to go even further with that, so I was even told, it could be right or wrong, when I went to the RNC, someone told me, a very influential person in the conservative media, that I was demonetized for saying the N-word.
Oh.
So it's like, they was like, oh, they didn't like the way that you said the N-word a lot. And to me, that's kind of weird. I was like, okay, maybe if advertisers don't like that, even though YouTubers can say it as much as they want and they're extremely strict. I said, well, if that is true, whatever. But then I see AB come up, and no shade to AB, Antonio Brown, his entire persona is saying nigga. And he's platformed by the app in crazy ways, all the way to being able to meet Trump, meet Musk on multiple occasions at Mar-a-Lago, all for saying nigga. Not for his skills in basketball. It's for the same thing that I was told I was demonetized for. So there's some clear bias going on in the app if it's true. It's just not as transparent as they say.
And, just let me take off my sunglasses. You are black, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
I mean, we got Myron out here saying it every day.
Yeah.
Myron's a different breed.
Yeah.
Myron's a different breed, bro. I think he's like the most viral guy on X probably in November.
I can see that.
Yeah, he took over X.
The thing about Myron is he's already paid. He's already got his millions. And he doesn't care about money. He lives very, very frugally for someone in Miami in his position. So when you don't care about money and you already have a big bag and, you're above principles above all else, there's nothing too much these people can do to you.
Right. Yeah, people have tried to cancel him like how many times now?
Countless through every year for different reasons, yeah.
And he still keeps growing.
Yeah, he survived the Me Too movement, survived feminist movement. He's doing well, man.
The women out here taking L's.
Yeah.
Especially with Trump, I start looking at what Trump did. And by the way, He's not.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Prolon. If starting the year with a fast feels a little daunting, you're not alone. There's an entire community of individuals wanting to make a meaningful decision in their health, just like you. This is what makes group fasting so powerful and why I'm joining in on Prolon's January Longevity Challenge, which is a coach-led program to set you up for fasting success. Prolon's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. I got all 5 boxes here and I'm starting day 1 tomorrow. It's researched and developed for decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by leading US medical centers. It helps promote healthy blood sugar, enhanced skin appearance, fat loss, and improved energy and focus. It all starts with their 5-day program, which contains snacks, soups, and beverages designed to keep the body in a fasting state. No guesswork or planning required, which is a relief after a busy holiday. If you guys are ready to make 2025 your healthiest year yet, order your Prolon 5-day kit at prolonlife.com/DSH. And they're offering Digital Social Hour listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. Use the code DSH at prolonlife.com/DSH.
1-0. He's not 2-0. He's 3-0 in elections right now. He's 3-0. He won in a landslide. So that means he has an absolute mandate. But you know what that actually proved? That actually proved that we're the real influencers now. Not the Beyoncés, not the P. Diddy's or anyone on that list, not all the Hollywood stars, because they were all for Camilla. Every single one of us backed Trump, and the people do not trust the people in Hollywood. They trust us. And that's why it was a landslide, because this was the influencer election, and it's going to keep going further and further and further this way. No one cares about TV. I haven't watched TV in a long time. Like, I don't even know what they do on CNN anymore. I don't even watch Fox News anymore. My feed is Twitter and a few other media outlets because they don't have the same influence anymore. Dom has more influence than CNN at some point because, you're the one being invited on Fox News and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would bring in, when I do get active, even let's say if I start today, within 4 days, and within 4 days, I'd start generating about 20, 40 million impressions a day.
Wow.
But by the end of the month, I'd have 2.1 billion impressions.
That is crazy.
2.1 billion.
Must demonetize the guy with 2.1 million impressions. What does this guy have to say for himself? I mean, this is absolute nuts. You're not even controversial.
No, that's another thing that's kind of strange to people, because they were like, he's kind of like, I'm more considered like a more centered type person with a lot of people's opinions. I don't really offend too many or nothing like that. And I just really like breaking into history, or just like observing things and analyzing, or seeking the truth, whatever that might be. So for them to demonetize me and to monetize a lot of like people that would be considered radical, it's crazy. And it's hard to even like speak about it without creating a comparison. So it's no shade, but even with Andrew Tate, he's still monetizing. It's probably not a lot of money, but the fact that he's allowing the monetization, it completely contradicts what he says about advertisement. And there's no advertisers that select one person to get their ads off of. That's not how advertisement work. They want to make money. I made them a lot of money. I know this because advertisers still reach out and pay me to help them get their stuff out there. So they just care about it getting seen by the people. And if I'm a journalist, if I'm syndicating news that other people are clipping and gaining, and it's helping other people to make another news story, that's what advertisers want. It's a profitable platform.
Yeah, 100%.
And it makes no sense.
Not to mention that Tate's a lot lighter than you, and he says that N-word every
day. And
so he's not demonetized.
But it only tells me that advertisers don't care about that language, and they don't care about that content. But X cares about the specific people that they're demonetizing.
Yeah, it seems very targeted. When you challenge history, that stirs up a lot of people.
Yeah,
definitely. You most likely pissed someone off at the RNC, and they had some pull with people at X, and that's pretty much what happened. That's what I believe. Maybe it was E1, maybe it wasn't, but at the same time, does it really matter? Yeah. This is corruption at its finest, and this is supposed to be the free speech, the transparent app. If you're gonna say you're free speech and transparency, that happened to Dom should not happen. I understand me. I got a big freaking mouth, okay? So I understand that. Him, he's very center. He didn't deserve this. But let's go on to it. Like, this could have been seen, brother. This could have been seen because you are born 1994, the year of the dog, and we are in your enemy year. Yeah. So once you found that out, it all started clicking and making sense, didn't it?
And it happened right, like, what is it? These years, they come in near the end of January?
Yeah.
The monetization came right after. I'm talking about days after my enemy year started. Yeah. Like literally days after.
Were you aware you were in your enemy year?
No idea.
Until you met this guy?
Yeah, I had no idea whatsoever. I didn't know.
He's not the only dog who's suffering. I mean, there's a guy called Joel Embiid who's with the Philadelphia 76ers. He is a political all-star. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's having his worst season ever. His own teammates are calling him out. It's that bad. He's born in the year of the dog. Giannis, another guy with Milwaukee. This guy got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. He's not playing the way, and his team's not playing the way they, should be playing. This is all because this is what happens when people are in their enemy years. Things happen. And guess what? It's basically the universe's way of making sure no one gets too powerful. Once every 12 years, you get hit. It is what it is.
Yeah, the NBA East is pretty awful this year.
And a shout out to my Cleveland Cavaliers, my hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. They're dominating.
Other than the Cavs. Everyone else has a losing record, I think. In the
Boston, East. Cleveland. No, that's about it.
That's it, man. The West is stacked, though. You guys follow hoops pretty often?
Since I'm a big-time gambler, you kind of have to.
You pulled up with the slips today.
Yeah. Hey, listen. When I'm here, I'm going to pull out the slips because I'm not in Vegas all the time. I'm here make maybe 5 to 8 days out of the month. So when I'm here, I'm going to go hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Damn, we got to get you back on X. 2 billion views a month. You were probably killing it.
Yeah, I still am on there. It's just demonetized. But I can, like I said, at any point, I can just access their audience. And they're pretty, awesome. They loyal and very supportive. So
yeah, you just dropped a documentary on there, right?
On YouTube. That's the main reason I kind of steered from X just right now. I've been focusing on my YouTube audience and, just discover myself as a creator. Video content is a whole lot different. When you create content is a lot different from syndicating it. You can be a journalist and report on content all if you want, but it's a difference from reporting the news to trying to become it. Yeah. So that's what I've really been focusing on and studying on that transition.
I feel that. Do you feel like a lot of journalists are kind of biased?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. And at first I didn't really think so, but I think on both sides, for the most part, very biased.
That's the problem with it, right?
Listen, when you have George Soros, basically pumping up the left, and he's been doing it for about 20 to 25 years, you're going to see that. The good thing is with the Trump landslide, now people like, Zuckerberg, people like Bezos, they see the picture, writing on the wall, so they're trying to move more center now. You're going even the NFL, like, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, if people were doing the Trump dance, they're going to get suspended. Now the NFL says they have free speech all of a sudden because no one wants smoke with my president, Donald Trump. No one wants smoke with him. And quite frankly, I don't blame him because guess what? Next year is 2025, the year of the snake, and the snake is the most vindictive sign there is. You best believe my president's going to get his pound of flesh.
Yeah. What's going to go down in the snake?
I mean, the deportations. I already know how this is going to work. The deportations, if you're looking for a job, ICE is hiring. I'm telling you that right now. ICE will be hiring. And I already know what the Democrats are going to do. They don't want their future voting base shipped out the country. They put so much effort into sneaking them in here. So basically, they're going to show in the news in about 3-4 months how families are being broken apart. They're going to make people feel like this guy's a monster. But you have to understand, without a border, we do not have a nation. We have our own problems. Quite frankly, I feel bad for, as anyone does on the table. There's a lot of poverty in the world. But guess what? We got our own poor. We got our own poor Americans. Why the hell are we going to help Honduras or Panama or all of these other shithole third world countries when we have our own poor? Once we fix the poor people, poverty problem in America, then we can start looking at the rest of the world. Not before.
Facts. Yeah,
at least that's my opinion.
I feel that, though, and you see all the money going to Cali for the homelessness and how many pockets are being filled from that.
Gavin Newsom's becoming a really rich man. Wonder why.
Very rich. It seems like it's getting worse there, even though they're spending more money on it.
Yeah, it's there. California is also right there in their dogs.
Correct.
So they're
California is a dog state. It's in its enemy year, and I mean, think about it. The Democratic Party got shocked, because if you look at California, and this kind of shocked me. I had to do a double take like this. Most of California was red.
Really?
Most of California was red. I mean, if you really think about it, the Democratic Party does not consist of any states and consists of about 40 cities. New York, L.A., the San Francisco. This is the Democratic Party. They don't even control any states. They just control a bunch of cities.
Wow.
That's all it is. So basically, when you look at the election, it's basically 40 Democratic cities versus the rest of the country. And this year, they got their asses handed to them. And I got to say something. The Republicans, now that you're in power, do something. Shove the bills down the throat. You control the Senate. You control the House. You control the executive office, the presidency. You don't need to negotiate with these people. All they can do is filibuster. Let them filibuster all they want. Let them stand there and start talking for weeks if they need to. But guess what? Shove it down their throats because that's exactly what they would have done to you.
Bars. You voted this year?
Yeah, I voted for the first time. Yeah, and I've been a Republican since I was 6. So.
Wow.
So 6?
Yep, 6 years old.
Talk to me, brother. What do you mean by 6 years old? You're,
Six,
you're looking at these lying Democrats at 6 years old. You
well,
already
no, it's
knew what
not
it
like
is?
that. It was just it was the way it happened. So my mom and dad, I remember my mom was going to vote for Bush, and my dad went to vote for Gore. We went down to like this church, or I remember them going to vote. And I remember at the poll line, I had asked my mom, I guess this is the first time I was actually just comprehending what they even were doing, like voting, I guess, for the first time, because first time I remember them voting. And I said, why did you vote for Gore? And when I asked my dad, and he was telling me, well, that's what black people supposed to do. And I'm going to ask my mom, well, why would you vote for Bush then? Because, they're both black. Trying to figure out, okay, why would she vote for Bush if black people supposed to do it? She was like, well, black people weren't good ever since they've been voting on what they're supposed to do. Saying, like, since they were voting Democrat. And she gave me some other examples as to why to be Republican, but it's just the main reason to her giving me examples. It what led me to choose to follow after her. It was just really my parents, that interaction, and I haven't really looked back since then.
Wow.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, she really did.
That's based.
Yeah.
And my
she knew
dad
back
voted
then.
for the first time this year. I forgot, for the first time this year, he voted Republican
Wow.
for Trump for the very first time ever. Like, throughout all the years of the marriage, he never voted Republican or nothing. My mom always voted Republican, dad Democrat until Trump.
He couldn't take
This
it
year,
anymore.
he didn't vote for Trump any of these other times.
Damn.
And I was like, man, it kind of does reflect, because the black men, it ain't as high as I wanted it to be, but it was a lot higher. So I said, even
About
my dad
30%.
my dad even reflected in that stat. So
I mean, that tells you a lot that, people who are diehard Democrats said enough is enough. We're sick of the illegal aliens trying to take our jobs. We're sick of the inflation. We're sick of the lies from the Democratic Party. These are people who are staunch Democrats, and they said the hell with the Democratic Party. It's not that they even like Trump. It's like they dislike the Democratic Party so much. And let's think about this. Look at the Democratic candidates. Clinton, Biden, Harris. I wouldn't trust these people to be my dog catcher, for God's sake. This is... We live in a country with 340, 350 million people. Are you honestly telling me this is the best the Democratic Party can do?
It's wild. So your dad was one of the votes for Biden, one of the 81 million votes in 2020.
yeah, definitely, he voted for Biden still. And and the thing is, like, he's known I've always been Republican, because my mom passed in 09. I followed after her, and I've always stayed on him about it. I even went to January 6th when that thing happened. I was just out there to watch the Trump speech. And I remember talking to my dad about it, and he was like, oh, I'm surprised you went all the way out there. I mean, I voted for Biden. He most likely won. I remember just like, oh, man, this man, like, this old head never going to see the light.
Yeah.
So
It's just very refreshing to see what happened in the past
It feels
4 years.
impossible, yeah. It feels impossible.
Now that you're speaking about Biden, I mean, listen, I've been on your program countless times, and I said the 2020 election was stolen. Now we have evidence that anyone with common sense, including Democrats, can look at it and be like, yo, what's going on? So we had, let's look at 2012. Democrats had about 61 million, 2016 around the same. All of a sudden in 2020, they have 81 million votes. And now that Harris was running, it's back to Obama-Clinton levels. Where did those 15 million votes go? I mean, did Thanos snap his fingers and they disappeared? I mean, this is a clear sign of election fraud. And let me tell you something. You think this is all forgotten? My presence going to be to see you guys. You stole the election, but guess what? It's a blessing in disguise, because Trump would have been out in 2 months. We don't know what would have happened, but now we know retribution is coming. You people who stole the election, put him through court cases, lied about this man, you're going to get yours. You really are. And by the way, to the January 6ers, now that we can prove this election was stolen, you are freaking patriots, and you should be giving medals. Every single person who was arrested for January 6th is a patriot, and you deserve medals.
Wow. Some of them are still in prison, which is crazy.
Not for long.
It's been 4 years.
Not for long. Not for long. As soon as Trump gets some political wins, he's going to sign an executive order. They're all out.
You think so?
At least the ones who are non-violent. Obviously, if you swung on a police officer, that's a whole different story and stuff like that. If you did something on a violent, but if you're just there protesting with the flag, oh no, you entered the Capitol. It's not the people's house anyway.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Looks like Trump's going to win all his legal cases too now.
Yeah, it does, but I see they're trying to do some extensions to 2029.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I think as a president, he could find a way. Well, I think he could get the DOJ, put some pressure to completely eradicate all those charges.
Yeah, it's wild that they picked that year, 2029. I wonder why.
That's in the year he
He's
leaves
out of
office,
office.
obviously. Listen, one thing that President Trump did, I believe he said this, I could be wrong, but I believe he said he's going to pardon Hunter Biden. He did say something like that,
Yeah, he
right?
said it's not off the table.
It's not off the table. Listen, as the president and as, honestly, as an American citizen, I don't want to see an American president go to jail. I don't care. I know Biden's a criminal. I know he's running a crime syndicate. I know Ukraine's a money laundering operation. But just to have an American president sitting behind bars, someone who used to have the nuclear codes, I think that would be a travesty. And I wouldn't want to see that president set. I wouldn't want, him to put Biden in jail then when he's out. Someone might be looking at him. I believe to a certain extent the presidents are above the law, at least when they're in that position of power, and they should not be prosecuted. Obviously, if they're throwing nuclear bombs at people, which has never happened, that's a whole different situation. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see American presidents go to power, from Obama, from Clinton, to any other president, because that would make us look like a banana republic. And quite frankly, I love this country. And I've never been more proud to be an American than when Trump won in a landslide. Because remember, all the polls said, oh, this is a dead heat. This is a dead heat. I'm looking around. I'm like, this ain't no dead heat. I told you many times it's going to be a landslide.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. So we can't trust the news. They told us in 2016 there's no chance for Trump to win. They told us in 2020 Trump was lying, Biden won. And this year they said, yo, Camilla's going to win. But you know what the sickest part about this is? No one voted for Camilla to run for president. She was selected. No one voted for her. The Democratic Party didn't like her. In 2020, she got 9% of the vote when she was running. No one likes this woman. And even after this shellacking she took, there's still people in the Democratic Party putting pressure on Biden to resign so she can become the first woman president a month before Trump becomes president. Do you understand? These women have no accountability. They don't care. They just lost. The American people do not want you, and they still want to shove her down our throats. This tells you everything you need to know about the Democratic Party. They're not for America. As a matter of fact, they're the anti-American party.
It's not what it used to be, for sure.
I would have been a Democrat, under John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, back
Straight
in
up.
the day.
I would have been a Democrat under John F. Kennedy. Under this, no.
Things shifted. Yeah, they used to be the hippies. They used to be the ones above against law enforcement and higher government and things like that. They completely changed their positions. Now they're demanding government enforcement, propaganda, etc. It's really weird how Democrats have become.
What leadership do you think that change happened in?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe after JFK.
After JFK?
Probably.
LBJ.
Yeah, after JFK.
100%. After John F. Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110 to strip the Federal Reserve of the power to print money, he was shot 6 months later. LBJ came in there, and I think that's when everything started shifting, right around that time. So probably late 60s.
Yeah.
That's when the shadow government took over, you think? The Illuminati, some people call them.
I mean, listen, the president isn't all powerful. I mean, a judge could overturn a presidential decision. So we don't have a system like France where the president's all powerful. I mean, yes, he's the most powerful person in the free world, but he doesn't have the power of a Chinese president. Chinese president wants you in jail, you're in jail. Donald Trump wants you in jail. He's going to try to do something, but it's not necessarily going to happen. We have checks and balances here that no other regime in the world has. And, a lot of times you could say that's a good thing. One thing I would like to bring up right now that is possible in about 4 years. Barack Obama has 2 terms. Donald Trump has 2 terms. There's a chance they could have repealed the amendment to have someone run for a 3rd term, and the Democrats could go for it because they will want their boy Barack Obama to run. So I could see this whole charade of Trump versus Obama into 2028.
Do you really think they'll make that shift? You can see it being...
I think it's possible. I think that... is it likely? No. But, it is a realm of possibilities because I could see the Democrats going for it because they're like, listen, we get Obama back. And Obama's a relatively young man. He's born 1961. He can still do this stuff.
And they only said that because of one president, right?
Yes.
4-term president?
Yep, FDR.
4 terms,
FDR.
I think. Yeah. He's fucked it up for everyone.
No, I mean, listen, he's born in the year of the snake, FDR. And snakes have a tendency of dying in positions of power.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
For instance, we have FDR, then we have Chairman Mao in China. He ruled China with the iron fist until he died. You have President Xi right now in China. He's a snake. He rules with iron fist. Another guy who died in office was John F. Kennedy. He was a snake. So when snakes come in office, they usually die in a position, whether it's old age or like JFK.
So they're stubborn.
It's very difficult to tame a snake. As a matter of fact, it's impossible.
Really?
I mean, can you tame a snake?
Hell no. I'm scared of snakes.
You can tame a cat. You can tame a dog. Hell, I've seen people tame lizards. You ain't taming no snake, bro. The snake is the only animal that you can take out of captivity, put it back in within a few years, it won't miss a beat.
Wow.
Every other animal will get domesticated. They won't know how to hunt. Not a snake. It's all instincts with them.
2025 is a snake year. Who do you see taking L's in a snake year?
You know, let's go down the list. I mean, people who were born in the year of the pig are going to take L's. This is just how it works. Let's go through the pig years. If you're born 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, it's not going to be your year. I'm sorry, XQC. You're taking an L. By the way, how was that vote on Camilla? How much did we lose?
2 million.
2 million. Yeah, good job there. So he goes on the stream with Aiden to support Trump, and then this turncoat runs the other way. What a goddamn loser. Then we have a guy like Logan Paul, who's born in 1995. You know his empire is going to take a hit. You know, one thing it bothers me about Logan Paul with his crypto zoo. Listen, I know as an influencer, I know you can't do it all. You put people in positions of power, and you hope they do the right thing. You do that, I do that. So I understand where Logan Paul says, yo, it's not really my fault. But think about this way. Dude, you're worth about $200 to $300 million, okay? Crypto Zoo probably cost your fans $1.3 million. You really want to fight these people in court, get all the bad press? Why not just give them their $1.3 million back? This is the problem. These people are so greedy. That's the problem. And guess what, Logan? You're going to get yours. There's a lot of people who can get yours, including our friend, Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. Right now, Elon Musk looks like he's on top of the world. He's, doing stuff for the Trump administration. His stock's through the roof. Everything's looking good. But enemy year is coming. Yeah. So whether that, and I'm going to tell people right now, I'm going to short Tesla stock next year. I'm going to short anything Elon Musk. I am shorting next year because next year's his enemy year. He's taking a hit regardless. Guess what? Doesn't matter how smart he is, how rich he is. Enemy year is going to kick him in the ass. There's a lot of people who are born in, 1995, 83. And my best advice to you is to lay low next year. Don't go out there and try to make big moves because if you do, it's most likely not going to go in your favor. And again, when you look at enemy years, it hits everybody. It literally hits everybody. Donald Trump was in his enemy year. He won the election, just like I said he would. George W. Bush was the president in 2000. He won in a dragon year too. So people have to understand numerology does supersede astrology, and we'll start talking about you in a second. But listen, Donald Trump is on another level, and all these people are beneath him at this point. And Donald Trump is going to start making people pay. And that is what the snake year is about. Vengeance, and it's also about occult knowledge. Remember in 2023 how everyone was into numerology and astrology because of what I was doing? Yep. It's coming back in 2025. I told you last year it was going to die down in 2024. We still somehow managed to get 100 million views, but it still died down a little bit in 2024. Next year, 2025, the snake year, numerology and astrology will explode. And I think within 10 years, maybe in 2033, we're going to be at the point where numerology and astrology, the people who are believing in it, is going to rival religion. Because the religious grift is coming to an end this year. I've seen too much. I mean, you're on Twitter all the time. Half the spaces. Christianity versus Islam. Which is better? Man, this is all childish. This is all childish. I don't believe a illiterate man wrote the Quran, okay? I don't believe that. I don't believe a virgin had Jesus Christ. This is stuff. If a woman came up to you guys and she said, yo, I'm pregnant, but I never had sex, you wouldn't believe her. No. Why are you believing a 25-year-old book? It's a fairy tale. Not saying there's not good stuff in there. Not saying I would rather have people, be LGBT than, religious. I would definitely take the religious people over them. But at some point, people have to stop believing the fairy tales. You have to understand, karma is king. Jesus, people say, is God's child. Wrong. Karma is. because you're going to be judged by your actions. And when you go to that afterlife, you will be judged by your karma. And that is God's child. Karma, not Christ.
Yeah, karma don't mess around. Do either of you guys trust Google right now?
I think they'll start taking some L soon. Like they're starting to. I think the era of just like Google dominance is really about to come to an end. Truly, with the creation of AI. Well, not creation of AI, just AI reaching where it is at this point. Even like the search terms to Chat GPT are showing more accurate than Google.
Yeah, way more accurate.
So yeah, I just main thing that Gen Z and then Generation Alpha using TikTok and Instagram more than Google search. So millennials and baby boomers only ones depending on Google as of now.
Losing has consequences, and Google backed the wrong horse or wrong dragon. So they put a lot of money into the Harris campaign. They've been, basically supporting Democrats for a long time, and now it's payback time because Google has unfairly demonetized and suspended conservatives on their platform. And now that we have Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in office, and J.D. Vance has connections to Silicon Valley through Peter Thiel, things are about to change. Again, we already said how, because of Musk, Elon's a little bit, took it a little bit more censorship, unless it's, us. I get I get suspended, you get demonetized. But for most people, I would say most people agree it's better in some cases. But if you look at all the other platforms, IG, you can pretty much say whatever you want now. I mean, I've never been suspended on IG.
Yeah, those comments are nuts on IG.
You can say pretty much whatever you want now. So shout out to Zuckerberg because he basically made the decision that, Trump's in office, the American people are leaning more to the right, then we have to open up our platform and actually show those values that are consistent with what the American people wanted. So you can see that. But Google, nah, they've been very stubborn. So at this point, I think it's very safe to say that Google's a monopoly, not just with their Chrome, but with their YouTube. YouTube makes over $1 billion a day.
Damn.
Over $1 billion a day. So what Google does, if they don't like someone, who's on a conservative ticket or a conservative platform, they shut them down, they demonetize them. That is not fair. And I think Donald Trump, I know Donald Trump's going to fix this. So I expect a lot of creators, some of them who I manage, some people who are out there who've been demonetized for a while, I expect them to come back next year. Because if Google doesn't play ball, they're going to be broken up like the Baby Bellas were in the 80s. And at this point, they have no choice. Either they're stubborn, they go through court, lose, and that whole thing gets destroyed, or they open up, say, you know what, we made a mistake. Now it's time to monetize certain people that we demonetized on the conservative platform. And I don't think their punishment's going to be as severe. But either way, Google's got to change.
They're also being forced to leave Chrome.
Really?
That was just about 2-3 days ago.
Whoa.
They have to sell Chrome. It's
They
crazy.
have to sell it?
That's what they've been forcing.
Donald Trump is coming after them.
Wow.
Donald Trump is coming after everybody legally. This is America. This ain't, Vladimir Putin's Russia. He's not going to put anyone in the ground. This is how it works. It's the Democrats that try to kill people. The Republicans don't do that stuff. So when it comes down to it, legally, my president's coming after you. All the people who lied about the vaccine. All the people who lied about the election. All the people who lied about everything he did. He's coming for him.
Absolutely.
Retribution, baby. This is going to be so beautiful to watch the next 4 years. It really is, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, Google's got to pay, man. When they censored the assassination attempt, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They censored Joe Rogan's video.
Oh, yeah.
They censored Joe Rogan's video. The #1 podcaster in the world. You're censoring him? That's stupid. When a guy's that big, you can't censor anymore. He's too big. And now the left is like, we need a Joe Rogan. Well, you don't need a Joe Rogan. You had Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was considered a leftist. He voted for Bernie Sanders, or at least he endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2020. Elon Musk voted for Biden in 2020. You lost these guys because your policies are way left and they go against the values of the American people. American people care about the economy. They care about their families. They care about this country not getting in meaningless wars. The Democrats only care about, transgenders or LGBT rights or all this other nonsense that goes in on the left. No one cares. And you lost your election because you didn't listen to your base. Listen, most Democrats, I believe personally, are good people. I believe most Democrats are good people. But I think they've been brainwashed so much. And, since 2016 about how bad Trump is. You notice they didn't use that racist stuff against him this year?
Didn't work.
Remember how they were saying he's racist in 2016 and 2020? I didn't hear anything about him being racist this year because it doesn't work. People are past that.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the men in the United States of America who said, we're not going to have a woman lead us. We're not going to have a woman or women who cannot go to war send men who can die in war. That's a big deal.
Could either of you guys ever vote for a woman for president?
I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
Why?
It's only because not even on no personal bias or experience. It's just on a genetic level. It's just proven that they're more emotional and just. I feel like that's a reason enough.
Okay.
Just being too emotional because on certain situations, when you have a whole entire country that you can run, you have to look at things without emotion. You got to look at things pretty critically, and it's proven also that emotions, whether you male or female, it cloud judgment. Now, you cannot have someone in a position of power with cloudy judgment. If that is acceptable, then why not allow air pilots or bus drivers to drive while under the influence? Because that clouds your judgment. Right. Your emotions can cloud your judgment the same way as being intoxicated. People that are clouded through anger or pain or sadness, they do some crazy things. Things that you would see a drunk do. There's people that's extremely sad. They'll drive off a bridge, or if you're extremely angry, you'll wreck your car. You can't really have that much power, I think, and, control the lives of everyone else if you're more subjected to your emotions than others.
I feel that.
You're at a greater risk. Just like having someone that has a history of drinking. They would be at a greater risk of making a mistake in our country if you have wine around them. Well, a woman can't run away from their risk. It's what they're born with, which they have a lot of great things that they have that we don't. We have to run, we can't run away from our risk either. But in terms of making a decision, a man should be at that position because there's less likely for him to have emotion in that decision. You can't guarantee it. There's a lot of emotional men, but it's less likely. And you want to make things easier on the country because it's about more than one person. You're deciding the life of everyone. You want to go with the best option available, and out of that, it's always going to be a man because it's less likely to be an emotional individual running your nation.
Yeah,
I agree with everything he said, but I also want to look at history. When you look at the world history, you've seen women in positions of power have been terrible for the people of their nations. The last United Korea was led by a princess. Now it's divided in two. Hawaii was led by a woman before it was annexed by the United States of America. There's many countries in the world, including the last princes of the Ming Dynasty. They were around for decades, centuries. And then a woman took that position and it's all over with. So I like to look at history. Even recently in the UK, we had a woman in charge for 40 days. She did such a disastrous job in the economy. In 40 some days, she had to resign. I mean, this is not a joke. People just need to look at history. Don't. You can say I'm misogynistic all you want. You can say he is, but look at the facts. Women's in positions of power has not benefited the people of their nations. So no, I don't think a woman should be in position. Now, could I ever vote for a woman? If a woman like Condoleezza Rice was running, I could consider it. I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but it's just very, very unlikely. I will say this: can a woman become president? Yes, I think it's possible. Should a woman be able to vote? Hell no. The 19th Amendment needs to be repealed. The 19th Amendment did more damage than COVID-19. And that's just the reality of the situation. Because think about what's going on right now. The worst thing that's going on in this country is you have boys being raised by women because no woman can teach a boy how to become a man.
Yeah.
And because you have that going on in society, these beta males grow up and they don't know how to take care of families. This is why the system is broken. We need to change this, and we need to change it. Let's just put it this way. There's so many little boys being raised by women nowadays. I think that if a boy doesn't have a man in his life, they got to go to military school on the weekends.
Wow.
There's got to be something, some kind of program to teach these guys some masculinity.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see guys crying. Oh, something didn't go your way. What the hell? You're not a woman, bro.
Yep.
You can't be crying about this stuff. A man has to step up. And, I've seen guys basically crying because something didn't go their way. Yo, my dude, what the hell? You're a man. This is not what's supposed to happen. Listen, a man becomes a man when he starts caring about other people more than himself. When he starts caring about his kids. When he starts caring about his wife. That's when a man becomes a man. Because, quite frankly, I want all the stress in my family on me. If I have a bad day, I still come home with a smile on my face, and my woman knows nothing about it. Because she does not need to be having that stress. Stress causes women to become masculine. I don't want my woman to be masculine. I want my woman to give me a back rub when I come home. I want my woman to do some other things. But I don't want her to start engaging in my problems. As a man, if you're broke, you find a way without basically making it the woman's problem. That's always my opinion. And that's why I've seen successful marriages. The woman, does what she wants. If she wants to do yoga all day, she wants to go to the beach with the kids, whatever. That's her life. Let her do it. Your life as a man is to provide the best possible position for your woman to be in so she can raise the kids. Now, as a woman, it's your job not to nag your man to death so you can actually go out there and accomplish something.
I feel that. So you're not big on therapy?
Who needs therapy? Therapy. Why would I? And again, aren't therapists like 60% women?
A lot of them are women.
The guy
Yes.
I want to tell a broad about my problem, she's going to make it better. Come on, guys.
I've tried. It didn't work on me, but how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I've tried it as well, and it was a woman, I think, every time.
Yeah.
But it didn't really work. It's just kind of pointless. The whole conversation really made me think about the whole toxic masculinity lie, though, because they'll say that men can be toxic, but when you think about a male, no household is shown that if it's a single male household, it's in a 30 times better position than a female household, that a child is more likely to do two things. They're more likely to follow the rules, and they're more likely to show their respect. So if they have a single father compared to a single mother.
Interesting.
Now, the main problem is emotions is what you see in a single mother household. You have emotions, and they're breaking the rules. So you have emotional men that typically break the laws when they get older. Truly, the toxic masculinity comes from single mother households. So truthfully, I don't think there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. It's females that have ruled men, raised men in a single mother household without a man that has made them toxic. I think a man in a natural environment with only a man, even without a woman. Now, it would be way better if they have a mother as well.
Yes.
But if he has just his father, he will not grow up to be toxic, or it's even less likely for him to be so. He'll be less emotional to a single mother household male, and he would be more likely to follow the laws.
Wow.
Just because he has a father, because the father instills that fear. Mothers usually see when the kids act bad in grocery stores, they'll get loud with them and make threats. Sometimes father, they can give you that look, and it's just, it's like, man, my dad he's terrifying.
Facts.
100%.
It's just that order and that structure and that fear of God of doing the wrong thing. It goes a long way from when you're older. And if you're in a single mother household, you don't have that experience.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I go out to Vegas, I'm gone for 5 days to a week. I come back home. Kids ain't listening to the woman as much as they should. I'm around there. All I got to do is do this. That's it.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, young boys don't want to listen to their mother.
It's so
I grew
crazy.
up in a single mother household, and I wanted to rebel.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it's just a natural order of things, or mainly here, like a lot of young men, especially, they want to just end up taking care of their mother. It's just natural. You want to take care of them, so maybe that makes you rebel a little bit because you might think you know better than them. Maybe just being a male, you might think you know better how to protect her.
Yeah, with my dad though, I knew when to shut up. Like he'd give me that look, or he'd say one thing, and I'm mute. So 100%. You guys think Mark Cuban's gonna run in 28?
Oh,
And by the way, thanks for defending me. I know you emailed Cuban back and forth.
Yeah, of course. Mark Cuban found out that a dog should never back a dragon. Mark Cuban, born 1958, year of the dog, look like a damn fool.
That's
defending.
crazy.
Exactly. You look like a damn fool. And I told him about this. I'm like,
That's
bro,
crazy.
you know what Mark Cuban told me? He told me about 2 months ago, she's the chosen one.
Whoa. This dude is lost.
He told me she is the chosen one. I'm like, bro. And then like 2 weeks until the election, I'm like, your girl's going to lose. Let's put some money on it. You know, he's not even responding by emails anymore because he knows what it is. Mark deleted all his emails supporting Kamala and said something very supportive of Trump. So he's a politician like the rest. He might run in 2028. It's always been his game plan to run for president. Quite frankly, the Democrats have no one. But I can be honest with you, Mark. I think Gavin Newsom would eat you alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, in the political debate, he would eat you alive. You don't have the charisma.
Yeah.
You don't have it, bro. You really don't. And, you know, he likes to run his mouth, but, I mean, he puts his foot in his mouth so many times. He said, there is no intelligent women around Trump. Now, I want you to think about this. The person who bought his team, Mrs. Adelson, she basically bought like 70% of the Dallas Mavericks. She is trying to work with Mark to bring gambling to Texas. She's one of Trump's biggest supporters. So this moron Cuban insulted the person who bought his team when he said no intelligent women are around Trump. Now I agree, there's not many intelligent women, but the ones who voted for Trump, and they got a little something extra going for him. Mark Cuban, you got a lot of work to do in 2028. And again, I'll support you against Elon Musk just because it's Musk. But at the end of the day,
Musk is going to run?
No. Musk is not an American citizen. He can't run. He wasn't born in America. He was born in South Africa.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's a South African. Can you call him N since he's from South Africa?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Mark Cuban, him being a dog. That makes sense. This year isn't that good.
No, it hasn't been.
He
Been
made
good
a
for
lot
him
of
at all.
bad moves this year.
He did.
Wow.
Damn. So you're really
Even the
believer.
public opinion, even the public opinion about Mark Cuban, it's completely shifted. He gets ratioed on every post. It never was like this.
Yep, Maverick sales
he was
are down.
literally the Elon Musk for Elon Musk. Everyone loved him. He was the cool billionaire.
Him and
That's
Logan
crazy.
on Twitter, bro. Yeah, Logan has to disable all his comments on Twitter.
I bet. I mean, listen. Imagine having all that money and all that fame, and you're basically stealing money from your fans for Crypto Zoo, and you're basically taking stuff that's been conquered already because his girl is basically ran through. Why would you be such a successful man, have such a successful career, and then take everyone else's sloppy seconds? I don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
they just had a kid. I do like Jake. Jake just fought Tyson. Did you guys bet on that fight?
No,
not
Jake. I will say this about Jake. Jake is the best thing that happened in boxing in the past 50 years. Maybe even more so than Floyd Mayweather. And by the way, Floyd, all respects, this. I'm not taking anything away from you, but Muhammad Ali made boxing, okay? And what Jake Paul and Muhammad Ali have in common is they're both born January 17th. So Jake Paul has basically revived boxing to where it is right now. And again, I don't think he's that good. I think average boxer, who's a professional, probably whoop his ass. But he has brought so much money and so much of a spotlight to the sport when the UFC dominates now that you got to give Jake Paul his flowers. You really do. Because, I keep telling people, if you have the same birthday as a legend who dominated the sport or anything, then you have an edge. Jake Paul definitely has that it factor birthday, just like Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, Jake Paul, and Muhammad Ali are all born January 17th.
Wow.
All stars.
That's crazy. Yeah, I watched the fight, though. It was hard to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it wasn't that good, no.
Let me tell you something. I'll put $1 million up right now saying if it's a bare knuckle fight with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul gets knocked out within 2 rounds. If it's a bare knuckle fight, I saw Tyson holding back. As a matter of fact, Jake, all love and everything, bro, but it wasn't his contract that if he lost, you got paid more.
I saw that.
Could you imagine? Because I actually saw Tyson trying to thinking about knocking, and he held back. I've never seen Mike hold back because it was all about money for him. So if he loses, who cares? He's 58 years old. Big deal. He still got his bag. So congratulations to Mike.
Yeah, congrats. Well, what are you guys working on next?
Right now, just more documentaries, mainly. Working on these documentaries right now on my content, video creation.
Okay.
I'm waiting for 2025, the snake year, because, snakes will rise in the snake year. And that's my energy. If you just look at this guy over there. How many do you have on Twitter?
1.5 million.
Okay. And what year did you really start taking off?
2023.
2023. Would you care to tell people what day you're born on?
March 23rd, 1994.
So he's born on the 23rd, and he took over in 2023. You see how that works? I mean, I was managing a guy named Zerka at the time who blew up in 2023. He was born on the 23rd. Oh, my God, I wish I had this guy instead. My God, because he really would have freaking blowed up if you knew this stuff last year. One good thing about enemy years, you can learn a lot. And that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah. In Twitter, you were saying that's a dog app.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Twitter's a dog app. You're a dog, rose up. I mean, I give Twitter all the credit in the world, guys. I think that Twitter got Donald Trump 1946 dog elected in 2016.
Yeah. You're a snake, right? You're about to have a good year next year.
Yeah. We're gonna comp Taint's numbers in 2022 next year. Remember who said it first? And then in 2026 I retire, because one thing I've watched with Tate, everyone saw how he dominated social media in 2022. He's a tiger. That was a tiger year. But he's fell off so much. It's kind of sad to watch. He had so much clout. No one could touch him. Now he's almost irrelevant. I don't want that. When I'm on the top, I'm going to leave on my own terms. I don't want to be relegated to, some has-been. So, this is something that a lot of championship athletes have done. They left at the top. That's what I'm going to do.
Yep. I love it. Well, we'll end it there, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on, guys. Yep. Peace.